Okay, so now I'll be sharing some resources that will be helping you in your Figma prototyping and design journey. So the first thing that you need to know is Figma community. So on Figma itself, there is a community page where you can search for anything you want, such as templates, plugins, widgets, or maybe even slides, since Figma slides is a new thing, and find what you need for your project and get on with it quickly. So you can take some components from there, some inspiration from there, and put it inside your project with attribution. So you can go to figma.com/community, or I can show you within Figma itself. When you go home, you can go to Explore Community at the bottom, and that will take you to the community page. You can see it's a globe icon, and you can search for anything you want. So let's say I want to search for some Spotify-like designs because I want to make a music player. I can search for Spotify and find multiple files. So like this, all of these things from different people. These are some by Spotify itself that they use when they are doing their design work. These are some UI kits that you can see, which are like a copy of the Spotify interface. These are some that I used that are redesigning it with like reimagining it how it should be, adding new features. There's Spotify Wrapped and other things that you can look at. Just if you take a look, you can search for anything you want, and there's so many resources available made by other people and even companies. So you can search for what you want, use it in your projects, and just give attribution. Then there's also UI libraries. So right now you saw we created our own button component, but let's say you want to use an established button component that some libraries already have, because if they've already done this, why do it from scratch? You can use a component library that already has very good styles and maybe make some tweaks so that it fits your style, your app style. So there are UI libraries available on Figma community, and these are some that you can search for. So there's Untitled UI, then there's Apple Design and Material 3 Design Kit. So these two especially, these are something that you can use in your designs, especially if you're doing mobile prototyping. If you're doing an iPhone prototype and you want, for example, the top part indicator where you can see the Wi-Fi, the battery percentage, the time, all of that, you can find it within the Apple design resources and copy and paste it into your own design and make it look as close to the real thing as possible. Same for Material 3 Design Kit if you're doing Android prototyping for or like Google related designs. Then there's Shatsian UI, which is also a design system, which you can see on the left here. This is more relevant for web, and it's very popular among programmers for creating a component system. So if you're creating web designs, you could consider using these components. Now, some plugins that you can use. So in the prototyping session that we had earlier, I shared with you Iconify, which was a plugin to find the open source icons and add it into your own design. On top of that, there's more plugins that I want to share. Firstly, there's Figma to Code. So I know many of you are programmers here. So if you want to convert your Figma to code, there's various ways to do it, including some features by Figma itself and also plugins like this called Figma to Code, where you can take your Figma design and convert it into CSS, Tailwind, SwiftUI, Flutter. These are the available code styles that you have, and you can just copy and paste it into your code editor as well, be the same as your Figma design. It may not be the perfect one or responsive, but that's something you can try out with this link here. Another one is AutoFlow. This is a plugin to draw connectors between frames. So let's say you're presenting your design in the file and you want to say when you click on this, it goes to here, but you don't want to show the prototype itself. So you can draw arrows between your frames using this plugin. And third one is Unsplash. Unsplash lets you to add stock images into your designs. So you can just go to that plugin, search for what you want, and add these copyright-free images inside your designs. Now there's official guides. So in case you want to find out more than what I've shared with you and Casey has shared with you, then you can find out these guides at this link. And these cover complex topics that help you in bigger design projects, such as shared libraries, layout grids, and components architecture. So do check them out. if you're trying to do a very big design project and you're interested to learn more. Then there's also Figma AI. So recently, Figma released a lot of AI features, such as visual and asset search. So you can upload an image and search for what you want, or you can write some text and generate a prototype. Then you can remember how we renamed layers one by grouping them. You can do that with AI using just one button, and it'll rename everything for you. And there's also interface and prototype generation. So all of these things you can see, we can check it out in these videos that I'll be uploading on Canvas. And just to demonstrate, I can show you what we have already out today. So many of these features are in beta, are being released slowly. But what I have today to show you is FigJam AI. So let me see. When you go home on Figma, and earlier we were creating a new design file. Let's do FigJam now. So new FigJam board. And here, it's a place where you can do collaboration. Multiple people can come together, add their ideas, draw what they want, and create sections, stamps like this. And this is where you can use Figma AI. So FigJam AI. So there's this button that you can see called Generate. You can click on that. And this is one of the options that we have. So I have a prompt here. I'm just going to use the default prompt and see what it can generate for me in FigJam AI. So have it, an organization chart for a 20% tech startup, and see what it'll generate for me. So generate, you can see it's loading. And we have this organization chart. So you can see this CEO, CTO, finance managers, accountants, engineers at the bottom. So it is pretty relevant to what we asked for. It may not be the exact thing that we need, so you can just make some changes so that it follows your use case, but it can create a very good template of what you need, especially if you say something that is very commonly asked for. And on FigJam itself, you can use it for collaborating, as I said. So instead of generating something, maybe you want to use a pre-built template, you can find them here. So there's a lot of templates, stickers, widgets that you can look for. So if you want to do ideation, you can add an ideation template. Just one click and you've added an ideation template. So you can just fill that up together with your team. There's also other widgets that you can have. For example, you want to do voting. You can have an alignment scale, which is being inserted. So each person can just vote somewhere and then their vote will be recorded. So there's other things that you can check out. So do use and do try using FigJam AI for your own team meetings or collaboration or note taking and see if it's useful for you. Okay, so that's Figma AI, FigJam AI, and FigJam itself. Next, this link here is there in the slides, and you can use it to go to the project that we just went through. So the Instagram profile clone, you can find it at this link. And now I'll be sharing some example projects with you. So these are some projects from my own portfolio, including my own CS3240 project. So let me share that using my Figma. Okay, so this is the clone we did right now. Now let me show you my group project for 3240, which was a resume tailoring app. Now, whatever you see here is like the individual part of the group project. So this was the individual hi-fi prototyping that we did for my project called Resumade. So Resumade is a resume tailoring app. It's a web app. And for this is what I've done. So firstly, the style guide, which is fonts, colors, and also the components that I'll be using. So you can see, for example, this is the primary button that we had, and this is the default button, this is on hover, this is on click, and this is when it's disabled. So I have various options like that for my buttons. These are different variants for my buttons. These are also like the different components that I've used in my design. So let me go over that design with you. So I'm going to go over the resume tailoring task, which is the particular one here. And so I'm going to use this to fit width and height, or sorry, fit width. Yeah, this should be enough. So you can see this is on Chrome. There's the Chrome toolbar also on top. And this is the landing page. So I tailor my resume. I select a resume to tailor. It uploads. So this is done using some smart animate features that you can check out. So it's basically the width is changing from 0 to 100 and it's smartly animating it. And that's there. I tailor my resume. I select the position, this or this. I tailor for this position and I have my interface. So this is a web app and there's different tabs that I have on the left and I can select what I want and make those changes to my resume. So one thing on the sections page, I can smartly arrange my sections. So that's the option that's highlighted here. I can do that and it's going to use a smart animate to do this. So this is just some animation features that you can try out if you're interested. And then there's other things such as hiding sections, adding sections, and moving them around. There's also other features like accepting suggestions, doing some phrasing, and then looking at the review. And once everything's there, you can download your page. So all changes are saved. I can download it and it's going to be downloaded. So that's one of my projects. Let me share some other ones. So this one right here is like a salary negotiation practice app. But what I want to show you here is mainly the variables. So earlier I said I'm going to show you a demo of the variables. And this is for going between light mode and dark mode. So right now you can see this app is in light mode and I've set it up so that there's local variables where these are the light mode variables and these are the dark mode variables. So you can see, for example, the text is going to be dark in light mode and light in dark mode. So let's take a look at how this will be when I change between dark and light. So this is my page and you can see the color scheme is light. And we can see this screen specifically. Okay, and when I make it dark, you can see everything has changed and it works for dark mode. So that's one way you can make use of variables and make your designs work for both light mode and dark mode. That's just one use case for variables. Okay, then this is another thing that I've done with Figma. So this is a landing page that I've created. It's there's the hero section, a video, some features, and then testimonials, and like a sign up form and a footer. So this is another simple way of using Figma for creating landing pages. And I've added some developer notes also because certain things like animations are not easy to do. So if you don't have time, you can add developer notes for your developer to see in case it's going to go into production. Then this is a a mobile app that I've done. And you can see it starts from the home screen. You click on this and it goes to the launch screen. So that's one way you can make it more realistic. And this is a home page where there's an onboarding and then there's a game that children can play. Then, so I've shown you a mobile app and a web app. There's also other things that you can do with Figma. So you're not limited to mobile and web. You can also do some prototyping for smart classes or even something else. So this one here is particularly for smart classes with a remote in your hand. So you can use this remote to control what you see on your classes. And you can, so this is one way to show some instructions on how you can use, and you can see this person is sorry, what do you say, scanning their credit card and using it for making payments. So you can even prototype something like this using Figma. So yeah, that's all I have, the example projects that I have to show you. You may see some more from other students. And yeah, that's it for this Figma workshop and prototyping to show you today. Happy designing!